How to Stop Worrying and Start Living is the name of a book written by Dale Carnegie, published in 1948. You might know him better as the author of How to Win Friends and Influence People. The book, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, it was one of my very first personal development books that I read when I was 15 or 16. And even though I actually hadn't read it again since then, there's a part of the book that's always stayed with me that I would often think about. And I noticed myself thinking about it in the last couple of days as I noticed myself feeling a little bit anxious, thinking about what video I was going to make next. That's probably been one of the harder things about this challenge for me is in filming and posting daily, is just trying to come up with ideas for what I'm going to talk about. And so, yeah, I think this is a great time to talk about this book and this particular chapter and idea from this book, and hopefully it's something that you find useful as well. So chapter 1 of this book is called Live in Day-Tight Compartments. I reread this part this morning to prepare for this video, and it just made me think about how relevant and how helpful this part is, this approach is, or this idea is in 2025, and I imagine back in 1948 when it was first published as well, that human beings really don't change all that much. Anyway, as the chapter says, the idea is to live in day-tight compartments. It's about being concerned or not being concerned with what's happened in the past, to not worry so much about what's going to happen in the future, because there is really only today. And the idea is actually from a speech given by a doctor called Sir William Osler at Yale University. He says, the load of tomorrow added to that of today, yesterday, carried today, makes the strongest falter. So shut off the future as tightly as the past. The future is today. There is no tomorrow. With our monkey minds, it is so easy to go from thoughts of what's happened in the past, and as a result being filled with feelings of disappointment or sadness or anger at what's already happened, and the things that we can't change. And then obviously it's also equally as easy to feel nervous, anxious, worried about what may or may not happen in the future. And I think this is also where meditation is really powerful and helpful, to bring the attention to the now. And I actually think of living in day-tight compartments as sort of being a broader look at being able to live mindfully or in the present. You know, if you struggle with that, with meditation or mindfulness, you know, cultivating a way to look at life, living life in 24-hour blocks is actually a really helpful way to do it. So, and I think the other reason why this is actually helpful is that there's a certain rhythm in a 24-hour block, obviously. You know, the sun rises, the sun goes down. We measure our calendar in terms of day units, 24-hour blocks. Dale Carnegie points out that he's not saying don't prepare for tomorrow, but the best possible way to prepare for tomorrow is to, what he says, concentrate with all your intelligence, all your enthusiasm on doing today's work superbly today. That is the only possible way you can prepare for the future. I know this sounds really simplistic, and you know, you can immediately think of all the reasons why it's not practical or realistic, etc. But I think it's a really nice, high-level way to approach life, to look at life. Be present, be here, or at least just put your energies into this 24-hour block that you're in. In another part of the chapter, he also points out again that he's not saying don't think about tomorrow. And he says, in fact, you should have careful thought and planning and preparation for tomorrow, but have no anxiety. And I think that part is the key. Don't get caught up emotionally in the things that have not yet happened. Stop being so worried or anxious about things that you have no control over, that hasn't happened yet. I think this is probably my favorite quote out of the chapter. He says, you and I are standing this very second at the meeting place of two eternities, the vast past that has endured forever, and the future that is plunging on the last syllable of recorded time. We can't possibly live in either of those eternities. No, not even for one split second. But by trying to do so, we can wreck both our bodies and our minds. So let's be content to live in the only time we can possibly live from now until that time. I find that so poetic and also powerful. The only thing we can do is to be here, and to be here in this moment. And we should focus our energies on the now, in this moment. until bedtime. So in this very moment, I choose to focus on this video and what I am doing today. Yes, I am going to think about tomorrow's video, and I intend on planning for it, but for now I'm going to focus my energies primarily on making this video and making it the best that I can with the time and energy and resources that I have available to me. This does also make me, or remind me, to feel grateful for my family and friends, the people that I love and those that love me as well. So I hope this was the reminder that you needed to wake up and just notice what's around you and to be here today. Just notice all the beauty and amazing things around you, to feel grateful and to be the very best, to do your very best that you can today. And yes, plan for tomorrow, but remember, when tomorrow comes, you will deal with it the very best you can then when that moment comes. I will see you tomorrow.